I'm very, very excited to introduce this next speaker because you can see his growth. And he doesn't just have money, he knows how the money actually works.
How to attract the money.
Exactly. So ladies and gentlemen, if you will, please with a round of applause, can you welcome Mr. Bankole Williams to take us on the topic, attracting money.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, you guys don't sound as excited. I said, good morning, everyone. Please help me nudge that person beside you and tell them we're about to have a great time. Right. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I do believe that the leadership of Pertinence Place is empowering people to do amazing things. And some of us are here, we're learning and hearing great value as a result of the people who have organized this program. Please let us put our hands together for the leadership, wisdom, and Mr. Sunday for the amazing work that they do. Clap now. Please, let's appreciate them. Thank you for having me. Today, I have been told to speak on the subject of attracting wealth. Attracting wealth. How many of us would love to be billionaires here? See how quickly your hand went up. Wow. You know, I found out something interesting about the environment we find ourselves in, being Nigeria as a country and Africa as a continent. I have found out that the majority of the problems of people in this country is financial. Do we agree? Why are you quiet? Do we agree? And how do I know this? On the 31st of December, a number of us spent our nights in our places of religious worship, in a church somewhere. And there are certain declarations that most likely they would have made. And the intensity with which people shout their amen affirms to me what their problems are and what their priorities are. Some of you know what I'm talking about. So when they say that this year you will be a billionaire, the intensity of the amen, some of you know what I'm talking about. The whole auditorium will scream aloud. You people don't want to be billionaires. I said you scream aloud. It affirms to me that money or the lack of money is a problem, right? And the presence of money is a priority to people, right? When we say, for instance, you know, because I've seen this happen, they say, this year, may you increase in the knowledge of God. Hey, you're shouting amen now. You know, but when I see things like that happen, it affirms to me that there is a problem with finances. And I want to be real here. A lot of people have challenges attracting money their way. And there's a formula to attracting money. And I feel like a lot of people have not gotten it right. What I have found out, okay, this works. Beautiful. This is not my slide. This is what I used the last time. So please make sure you correct it. Right? What I have found out is that there is so much focus on generating income and making money. But most people don't know how to attract funds. So, like I mentioned, there is so much intensity, time, and energy that I see people give towards praying for money, right? And I have found out some people don't understand that there are fundamental principles that money respects and money honors. So, in this country, regardless of how much time people spend praying, right, for finances, Nigeria is still regarded as the poverty capital of the world. You know, it baffles me because there is a disconnect, We spend so much time asking for wealth, yet when we look at our results, then there is something wrong, right? I believe so strongly that evidence terminates arguments. Show me your report card and I'll tell you whether what you are doing is working or not. So we're so big on finances, we're also so big on our physical life. There is no country in the world that I know that prays against death the way we do. Yet, what is the life expectancy in Nigeria? Does anybody know? I can't hear you. What's the figure? 55 years. In fact, I think it's 53. Is that between 53 and 55? No more than that. So we spend so much time praying against death, but our results are not showing that we're living long. Does anybody have an idea what the life expectancy in Asia is? In countries like Hong Kong, it is 85. In Singapore, it is 84. In South Korea, it is 83. We are praying against death. They are eating healthy. We are doing the wrong things, eating junk, and think we can pray it away. Now, I do believe that prayer has its place, don't get me wrong. But I am telling you that there are fundamental principles that govern different areas of our lives. And if you don't understand these principles, you cannot attract the results that you want. So I know a number of us want money, but there are principles behind money. Help me ask the person beside you, do you know the principles? Principles behind money. Principles behind money. A number of us think that our problems in this country are spiritual. Whilst I do understand that they are spiritual problems, I am one of those people who believe that our problems are mental. I am one of those people who believe that we just need to receive sense. In fact, that's the prayer point we should shout amen to. This year, we will all receive sense. That is the real deal. Because there is some kind of knowledge that you have that will guarantee the finances that you so desire to have in your life or to have in your account. So I do believe, like I said, that the real problem is with our minds. How do I know this? The wealth of nations is not calibrated or measured by what lies underneath their feet, but by what lies between people's ears. If it was measured by what lies underneath our feet, then Nigeria should be one of the wealthiest nations in the world. We are blessed with a lot of natural resources. We are blessed with human capacity, human potential. Close to 200 million people in the world, in Nigeria. Yet, we are regarded as the poverty capital of the world. Blessed with timber, blessed with oil, blessed with copper, blessed with different natural resources. Yet, our results do not show the resources that we've been given. If wealth was calibrated or measured by the resources that God has blessed us with, then nations like Singapore have no reason being rich. Nations like Dubai have no reasons being rich. What does Dubai have? Sand, sun, sea. Period. What does Singapore have? They have land, they have water, and they have how they make land and water look. Their scenery. That's what they pay for. So it is not measured by what lies underneath your feet, but by what lies between your ears. I said the problem is what? Mental. Somebody say, I receive sense. It's the mind. The mind that makes the difference. So the prayer points really should change. That God should open our eyes and open our minds to know what precisely we should do to attract the income that we so desire. I did a research and I found out that the world's GDP is $86.4 trillion. The GDP of the world. The world has about 7.7 billion people. If we divided all the income of the world evenly across the population of the world, each person will have about $11,000. That is about 4 million naira. If we divided the wealth of the world evenly, each person. But do you know what we have found out? We have found out that after a few years, people will find themselves right back where they started. The money will return to its original owners after a few years. And it is not just because, the money will automatically find its way. It is because people will behave themselves back to how they were, and they will return back to that poor state because of their mindsets. I am telling you, the problem is with your mind. A mindset is a fixed mental disposition that predetermines a person's interpretations of situations and ultimately the outcomes. I'll take that again. I said your mindset, right, is a fixed mental disposition. You are fixed in the way you do things, except you have an intervention that can change your mind. That is why the poor remain. That is why people keep producing the same results. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you last year, the prayer points you had at the beginning of the year are the same prayer points. Why? Because those situations have not changed. Because you are right where you were. Because what I have discovered is people have a fixed mindset, a fixed way they do things. Please help me ask the person beside you, are you fixed? Fixed way they think. Do you not know that there's a fixed way you do things? Some of you, the way you woke up today is the exact way you woke up yesterday. The first thing you did today is the first thing you did yesterday. Some of you, the first thing you do when you wake up is that you pick up your phone. Abi? There are certain applications you go to, your finger already knows the way there. Do you know that there's a fixed way you get up out of bed? There's a fixed way you brush your teeth. You take a certain number of strokes on one side before you move to the other side. There's a fixed way you wear your clothes. There's a fixed way you wear your trousers. One leg always goes in first before the other leg. I am telling you, we are fixed in the way we do things. Until you understand the fundamental principles of how this thing works and how it determines your outcomes, you remain where you are. And that's why I've discovered that regardless of what people desire, until they understand how to attract wealth, they find themselves right back where they were. I'm telling you, the problem is with the mind. Somebody say, today I receive sense. I receive it. Problem is with the mind. Fixed way, fixed mental disposition that determines where people land. Now, here's the interesting thing. You might desire the new, but guess what? Your default behavior is to repeat the old. Let me take that again. You might desire the new, but your default behavior is to repeat the old. That is what you are fighting against. And that is what you need to pay attention to. There are fixed money patterns that people have. And until you change those money patterns, it will not, your financial outcomes will remain the same. Until you change your behavior towards money, your results will remain the same. And that's why you are here to learn some fundamental principles about wealth. So like I said, if we divided the wealth of the nations, everybody will end up with 4 million naira. But after some time, people's fixed behavioral traits will cause them to go back to originally where they started from. So the wealth of nations is calibrated by what lies between our ears. So wealth really and truly is in the mind. Wealth really and truly is in the mind. Right? So the real problem that I believe we have is what I call a poverty consciousness. Somebody say poverty consciousness. And what does this mean? It means that people think, see, hear, and feel poverty. Now, until you change the way you see, change what you are hearing consistently, change how you are thinking, and change how you are feeling, chances are that you will produce the same results in your life. And that's why people remain poor, because they have what I call a poverty consciousness. They are aware of lack. And in as much as there is abundance around them, the consciousness of lack consistently causes them to remain right where they are. Right? And for you to attract wealth, you have to be able to address what I call the poverty consciousness. So money cannot stay away from somebody who has a wealthy mind. The same way money cannot locate somebody who has a poor mind. Did you hear what I said? I said money cannot stay away from a person who has a wealthy mind, the same way money cannot locate a person who has a poor mind. So they may work hard on the outside, but until they change the posture of their minds, they cannot change the amount in their bank accounts. Right? So I'm going to talk about three things that ultimately I believe everybody should do to ensure that they can attract wealth. Anybody wants to hear this? I can't hear you. Anybody wants to hear this? Number one, first thing that you need to do is to ensure that you have the right people around you. Positive people. The right people around you. I spoke one time to somebody who was stupidly wealthy. And this guy told me, he said, Bankole, the secret to my wealth is I have found out 2 poor people can never help themselves. Did you hear what I said? I said 2 poor people can never what? Help themselves. The question is, who do you consistently surround yourself with? Could it be that you are a product of the people that you consistently spend your time with? Even Jesus said, the poor you have with you, they will remain. The reason poor people remain is because they are perpetually surrounded by themselves. You need to do an evaluation of the people you have in your circle. Are they people who, when you have an idea, they tell you it is not possible? Or are they people who encourage those great ideas to thrive because they have experienced those kinds of results in their lives? Let me tell you, there is the power of what I call association. Iron will always sharpen iron. Find people who have the results that you desire to have and surround yourself with them. There is something called unconscious learning, meaning that you are learning without knowing that you are learning. By virtue of being around people who have the kind of results that you desire, they are rubbing off on you without you knowing. Let me ask you a question. Is there anybody here who has ever spoken to a foreigner, a white man, and then you notice that your accent changed? I can't hear you. So you just found yourself speaking Fune. In fact, you shocked yourself like, na me be this. Now, it's not like you consciously decided that you are going to change your accent. You just found yourself somewhere along the way switching. Could it be that by virtue of the people you are surrounded with, you have found yourself switching to their frequency? Could it be that the reason why you are having great ideas for wealth is because you have adjusted to the frequency of the wealthy people you have around you? On the flip side, if you are perpetually surrounded with people like you, you will always produce you. Did you hear what I said? Positive people, new relationships. The problem is the friends that you have are friends by default. We go to the same church, friend. We work in the same organization, friend. We live in the same neighborhood, friend. You have not been intentional about determining who you need in your space because you recognize that they produce the kind of results that you want to produce. So, for instance, you sell real estate. Who is the person that you recognize has sold the most amount of properties? And how can I get that person in my circle? There is something that person carries that by virtue of my association with him, I will learn and will rub off on me. But if you are consistently surrounded by people who are not producing results, who have not sold, and they are always around you, you cannot make progress. You know, misery likes company. So if I'm not selling, I'll look for someone that's not selling like me. And I'll call the person and I'll say, I have not sold this week. Or say, you too? Me too, I have not sold. And then you feel good that it's not only you. Whereas what you fail to realize is that that's a confirmation that you will remain there. Did you hear what I said? Find people that have the results that you desire to have and be intentional about being in their circle. I came when I think Wisdom was talking, and he was talking about the importance of service. Some of these people, you might be required to serve them to get their attention. And the reason you are doing that is because you want to be able to get their attention and be in their space so that they can give to you. The problem is you want to just come and take. You are not willing to give. Do you understand what I'm saying? The right people. Somebody say positive people. You need positive people who would inspire, who would challenge you. A lot of the results that I've seen myself produce, they are because I have been intentional about the quality of people that I surround myself with. And once you surround yourself with those people, you will start producing the results that they produce. Haven't you noticed that billionaires, their friends are what? I can't hear you. Millionaires, their friends are what? Thousandaires, their friends are what? Poor people, their friends are... Do you understand what I'm saying? If you live your life by default, you will produce the same results you produced yesterday. Did you hear what I said? You must be intentional about the quality of people that you have around you. The quality of people that you have around you. Very, very, very important principle. The second one is the places you go. Second one is the places you go. We are all products of the places that we have been to. That is why exposure is so critical. Whether it is a place that you have physically been to or a place that you have journeyed with your mind. We are all products of our exposure. You live in that poor neighborhood and you do not go out of that neighborhood to experience any other part of life. I am telling you, you cannot produce as a lifestyle what you have not first experienced as an experiment. Hear me what I'm saying. You cannot produce as a what? Lifestyle what you have not first experienced as a what? Experiment. Meaning that you need to be very intentional about the quality of places you go. You may not have the money, but it does not stop you from having the experience. Did you hear what I said? I said you may not have the money, but it should not stop you from having the quality of experience. Some of you, by default, if you want to have lunch today, there are some places that by default you always go. Abi? There are some places that you will never go. Abi? In fact, you will drive past, you say, I'm hungry. You will drive past that restaurant because in your radar, you do not see places like that. And that is because you have adjusted to a certain frequency. Sometimes you need to challenge yourself to be, do, and have more. I remember one time a friend of mine who I knew had this poverty consciousness thing. I one day decided to take him out to a place that he would normally not go to eat. And I was the one paying, right? I was the one paying. And then at the end, they brought the bill to me. Not to him, to me. I was the one paying. And the guy said, Bankole, can I just see? And when he saw the bill, I think the bill for two of us was about 20,000 naira or something. The guy shut down. He said, hey, do you know how many pots of soup I can cook with this money? No. This is rubbish. I say it's my money. He is getting a headache over my money. Does he know how much I have in my own account? I am telling you, that some people, the reason why they are not progressing is because of a scarcity mentality. They think that there is not enough to go around. They have disqualified themselves from certain experiences. They think that you have to have 4 heads to have certain kinds of experiences. I am telling you, create those kinds of experiences for yourself so that you can trick your mind to believe that you qualify for such. So that when the opportunity to create that thing comes around, you will see it. Do you understand what I'm saying? See, the difference between the poor and the rich is insight, period. The difference between the poor man and the rich man is what they see. 2 people can walk on the same road and see different things. One person will see a problem, another person will see an opportunity. If you guys can take this slide to the picture that has so many people and buses on it, I want people to see that slide. Right? It depends on what you see. I remember, I always love to share this example. When I moved houses, I used to live in Yaba and I moved to Lekki. So when I was going to move, I told my friends in Lekki that I was coming. And my friends in Lekki told me, Bankole, don't come, oh. Lekki water smells. Bankole, don't come here. Lekki water is dirty. Bankole, Lekki water is colored. Don't come here. I said, if it is that bad, why have you not moved back? As in, come back now. Is that bad? I said, I want to see what people are seeing. I moved. And when I moved, when you move to a place newly, you see differently. So other people were used to that environment. Me, I was new. So I began to notice that in my estate, every day, I would see tankers driving in and out of the estate every day. These tankers were solving the problems that these people were complaining about. Some people were complaining about the problem. Some others were fixing the problem. Some people were agonizing about the problem. Some others were organizing a solution. I am telling you the difference is insight. Help me ask the person beside you, what do you see? Previous one. Move back. Some of us know this place. One more slide. No, I mean that picture, but just arrow back. Anyways, how many of us saw that picture, right? Do you remember that place? Do you remember that place in Lagos? It was Oshodi now. Yeah, beautiful. What is the problem in this picture? I can't hear you. Congestion, traffic, right? Chaos, different problems. Okay, let me change the question. Same picture. What is the opportunity here? Tell me, what's the opportunity? Someone said market. Who is that Igbo man? Market for what? Pure water. Gala. Someone says transportation. What other opportunities are here? Bottled water. Right? The opportunities for employment here. Traffic control people and all of that. How come the second time I asked the question you are seeing differently? Did I change the picture? I can't hear you. Did I change the picture? What did I change? The question. What does that tell you? The quality of questions you ask in life will determine what you get out of life. Your perspective will determine your results. What you see will determine what you say. And what you say will determine what you experience in life. I am telling you that you need to change your perspective. And that's the third thing. Positive people, positive places, but make sure you have a positive perspective. Meaning that when a problem shows up, don't focus on the problem. Focus on the opportunity in the problem. When something that you would ordinarily see that will cause you to say this is a problem shows up, ask yourself, what is the opportunity here? The minute you ask that question, you flip the script and you begin to see differently. The minute you ask that question, your perspective changes and you begin to have insight. And I am telling you that insight is what can change everything for you. Because once you see differently, you see an opportunity, you create a product, and from creating a product, money is what people give in exchange for value creation. You create value and then you can earn money. So please remember this, your perspective will determine a whole lot. The way you look at things will determine a whole lot. One last story I'm going to share. Story of a guy who I heard one time went out with his wife and they literally shopped the whole day. This was several years ago. And this was in America. They had shopped the whole day and then they got back home and the guy looked at his wife and he was upset. You know, women pretty much like shopping, but this guy didn't like the experience of shopping for the whole day. And he looked at his wife and he said, why can't there be one place that has everything you are looking for? See how long we've spent shopping. The wife looked at him and she said to him, honey, keep quiet. Stop agonizing. Start organizing. Stop complaining. There is a solution there. The guy heard what his wife said and it occurred to him that there was no one place that you could find everything you are looking for. The guy saw the opportunity in the problem, and you know what this guy did? This guy set up the first one-stop shopping mall in the world. That company today is called Walmart. Walmart started from what ordinarily the average person would have called a problem. One guy looked differently. He saw the opportunity in the problem, created a business that today generates more money than some African countries. I am telling you that problems carry opportunities on their backs. Opportunities will put money in your pocket. Do not forget these three things that I shared today. Number one is what? Positive people. Make sure you surround yourself with people who have the results that you desire. Number two is positive places. Make sure you go to places that will shake your table, that would make you feel uncomfortable because you are not familiar with those kinds of places. You need to be able to experience it as an experiment so that you can eventually have it as a lifestyle. And the final one is a positive perspective, meaning that whenever anything shows up, ask yourself this question: what is the opportunity in this thing? Because opportunities carry money, or problems carry opportunities on their backs, and opportunities will put money in your pocket. If you apply these three things, I'm sure you'll start to attract money in your life. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen.